Recording in progress. And then just in case, Miracle, I'm going to make you a co-host here just in case something happens on my end. So that way there's some continuity. Okay, so hopefully you remember the prompt and someone is feeling brave enough to go first.
I can go first.
All right.
I'm based in Phoenix, Arizona, and I have my vision for the future is that where we are able to do produce what we need, including food and other essentials, without having a lot of negative impact on the planet, and which will enable humans to coexist peacefully, not disrupt things too much going forward. And I'm hoping that technology can really help improve things, and I'm hoping that I can be part of enabling that improvement, especially in terms of agricultural practices. So I can pass it on to Leo.
Thank you. I'd like to sing you all a song I wrote, if I may.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Hold on. Just gonna get some space here. All right. Okay. You all hear me? Yes. Is this too loud if I speak or sing like this? Should I have the microphone? Yeah, good. If you close your eyes, what do you see? Is there something there that we need to feel more free? Let's meet that need for ourselves the best we can, be it by our own, with a fellow man or a woman, 'cause in fact, we need them both to stay intact. And then share how you did it with those you trust, and celebrate this life and love and lust. You tell the world you did it, promise to share with whom and where this happens, if you care, for a brighter future for all mankind. When a single man or woman left behind, a world where all our needs are met in honesty. 'Cause with our own very eyes, we all can see that at the end of this life, we're all the same. And we shall all one day return from where we came. And so let's get together in every pause, sing our hearts out, good old cause. Love this moment, what it is. Trust me, darling, you won't miss a single second of your call. 'Cause while we're here together, got it all. And so I ask you now, final time, to listen very closely to this rhyme. You ask yourself now, what do you need? And let the answer sow the seed for a brighter future for all mankind. When a single man or woman are left behind, a world where all our needs are met in honesty. 'cause we're all a part of one big family, where we don't pretend in hopes for the future that we are blind, or try to justify our actions in our minds. 'Cause at the end of it all, our hearts belong to the same melody, the same old song. I haven't heard it for a while, it's been too long. Yet still I remember that old song. Coming home now, mama, I've lost my mind. It's time I wake up to your love, leave my fear behind. 'Cause I know there's a heart inside of you longing to be heard. So come on, let that heart sing through in every word. Thank you. Happy I got to share that with you. It was not the plan from the beginning.
Thank you. Thank you. Bravo. Bravo.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, brother. And I see Jillian, you joined us. Thank you so much for coming, Jillian. You know the move of dropping in with gratitudes if you'd like.
Right, thanks. Yeah, sorry, I was on the phone with my mechanic. Got something hinky going on with the front end of my truck. So I'm just actually driving right now on my way into the Big Smoke, Toronto. I'll turn my camera off. Yeah, it's like this meta meme of really appreciating this warm, high pressure, clear-ish, essentially high pressure days with sun and warmth. And we usually have bits of this in the fall, but nothing like what we've had this year. But also, of course, the shadow and underbelly of this isn't normal. And but I'm in the next stage of appreciating and having gratitude for myself. I was about to say my body, and I think that that's part of it. My body's been pretty beat up from living a pretty hard life. And now I'm 6 or 7 years into menopause, which puts my body into a different stage of life. And so the recovery and rejuvenation is now different than what my life has been up until now. So just coming back after yet another injury of skiing down a set of marble stairs and in Italy earlier this year, not intentionally skiing. And just, yeah, I think I'm turning the corner to beginning to appreciate my body, and having had COVID finally last month after having been pretty careful for 2.5 years. And I'm going to the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair today. It's the 100-year anniversary. And it's, the horse palace is from 100 years ago. And I grew up around horses, so I just love going in and around the stalls. And the Royal Canadian Mounted Police are there doing a performance every night. And you can go and take the kids to see the horses, and the Mounties in their serge coats. And, it just, especially after a couple of years of COVID, where, I don't know, for the agricultural community, that's a real touchstone. So it's nice that we're getting to come back in person. I see all my horse friends. I'm seeing a friend that I haven't seen since, I think 40 years it's been since I've seen her, or 39 years, and her daughter now rides in events like we used to. And so, yeah, just starting to feel grateful to be alive again. There was a little while I've been in pain, I've been in spasm for 2 months, and I am now, just as I clutch the wheel talking to you, but just kind of touching into a bit of the beam me up Scotty mode for a while there. So it's good to feel my strength returning, and I trusted it would, but it felt a little far off for a little while there.
Thank you, Jillian. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for your gratitudes. And the prompting question is, what's the vision that you see in the future? What's the hopeful vision that you're holding fast to? And since you just spoke, if you are up for it now, then you can respond with what your vision is for the future, if you'd like, or we can come back to you later.
Yeah. Oh, I could go either way, but one thing that's up for me is what's happening in Sharm el-Sheikh right now in the Sinai in Egypt. And just, I feel like I was remembering the other day where when I went back to school in the 80s, the later 80s, and that was the beginning of kind of like wanted to be an environmentalist and climate change and whatever. And that's 35 years ago now. And how I still feel, very committed to this process. And now it's a lot closer than it ever has been. And I feel sad, disappointed, that we just really can't. A lot of it for me is about lack of maturity and the ego just wanting to hang on and deny. And I see that a lot, just even as individuals, where we can't really see and connect and take responsibility and acknowledge and again take responsibility. And when I talk about regeneration, and not only talk about now and going forward, but I also talk about creating a frame for us to heal what it is that we've done in the past from the places that we've done it from. And I say the language of your question again.
Your vision for the future, your hopeful vision for the future.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. My hopeful vision for the future is that we're going to continue to wake up and grow up and to continue to live into and support each other, to live into the complex web work of response that we need in order to be able to rate continuing to be here alive on this planet. I think we've got a long way to go, but I think it's possible. And I think that we're going to look back to this time now, where as this tide rises, and we're in such conflict around the world, with election day in the States, midterm elections. And I'm Canadian, by the way, if that wasn't clear from driving into Toronto. The other North American that is the mouse in bed with the elephant. But yeah, I think this rising tide is there, and I don't see myself doing anything else. And I'm glad for the youngers with us, including yourself as a leader in this, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, Jillian. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to hear everyone's voices and see what we're starting to see emerge from that. So, Carrie, how about you?
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Jillian, thank you for sharing what you started with sharing about horses and your passion and the way that they make you feel, because I'm also a horsey lady, and I'd love to catch up with you at some stage about how things go with where you're going, and to find out more about your passion with horses, because I think they're amazing creatures, and they've been always a part of my life. I'm currently without a horse at all, and it's the first time I've been without a horse in over 30 years. And yeah, it's a different world. It's a different world without a horse in my life at the moment. So you're bringing a lot of that back for me. In terms of the question about vision, when you said that, it reminded me that I wrote something down, which I'm just sharing in the chat. I put it in my FedWiki, Chris, way back in 2020, and it was about how I hope the world might be in another 100 years' time. So rather than saying we can change quickly, I don't think we can necessarily change quickly. And I certainly see all the things that I'm doing to try to make this possible as probably not changing that much substantially in my own lifetime. So I think we all have to take a really long-term view on things. It could be that things change very quickly, but I don't think it's going to be as a result of individual human efforts. It might be something that comes from outside and makes things change really, really quickly. But my big thing has always been children. And at the moment, I believe that, the children will change the system. When I say change the system, I don't mean change the system by playing with it around the edges. I think the whole system has to change. They will create the new system. But at the moment, they're not being given the tools and the support to be able to do that. And a lot of the work that I'm doing is about giving children the skills to be able to see the systems that we currently have operating out there that divide us and create a lot of our problems, so that they can look at creating a new system for themselves. And then when we're out of the way, this place could be a truly beautiful place again. That's my dream anyway. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah. Yes. And Glory. Hey, brother. Happy you're here. The standard protocol for this time is when people show up, we ask if they want to share what they're grateful for. So if you'd like to start there, we'd like to hear what you're grateful for.
Oh, wow. So, hi, everyone. I'm so very glad to be here, and I'm sorry for joining a little bit late. I was having some network complication, but I'm really, really glad to be here. Yes, Josh, I'm really, really glad to be here and very excited to be here. I haven't met most of us unless Chris and Josh. My name is Roa. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo, but I'm a refugee in Uganda from Congo, and I'm leading a social organization that is bringing responses in refugees. But I'm so grateful, mostly to be alive. The breath of life is something that everyone is grateful for. Grateful to you. You sleep, you woke up, you say, "Oh, I'm again alive," and we are very grateful for that. But also, I'm so very grateful for the people that the nature has allowed me to be having across me, the people that God has brought around me, the people that are behind me as a backup. There are people that comes in our life for different purposes, and they are the people that when they come in our life, they come to uplift us, but others come to neutralize us, but others come to bring a lot of stuff. But I'm grateful for the people that are around me, for all the progresses that they really push me to do. But I'm also grateful to stand up as a leader in my community to bring responses to the chaos that my fellow refugees are going through. And that is something that I'm really, really grateful. Sometimes I'm like, why me? I'm asking myself, why me? Why me? Why me? Why am I the one who's bringing this? Why is not that one? I'm grateful for having that vision and that idea of bringing responses in my fellow refugees. But also, I'm grateful for the opportunities that are being opened here and there to get the way out, to achieve our dreams, our goals, but also to achieve the roadmap of our destiny. Everyone has a destiny, and I'm grateful for all those things that are coming in our life to the opportunities that are coming to achieve what we really want to do. But also, I'm grateful to know this platform of regenerative technology as well, because I meet new people, amazing people that inspires me. I acknowledge Chris, I acknowledge Josh. Really, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Glory. Thank you, Glory. Glad you're here with us, brother. You were in my dream last night. I'll tell you about that some other time. But your gratitudes were like leading right into what the prompting question that we're all answering right now, which is, what is your vision for a hopeful future? So if you want, why don't you paint a bit of the vision that you see for the more beautiful world you know is possible.
Thanks very much, Chris. This is a large question, and I'm like, I'm gonna answer this question. You know, actually, yes, I have a vision as me. I already have a vision that I want to see it being materialized, being done. And of course, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take years, but I believe that one day I'll say, yes, I've made it. Though the path, though the trials, though the consistency of the nature, though consistency of the system, but one day I believe I'll get a way out to achieve that vision. Yes, I'm a youth, and I'm looking at the world that I am in as not a problem, but a solution. My vision is to make sure that every person who is displaced, every person who is undergoing a violence of human rights should get a voice to that. And as mostly as refugees, because I have known what being refugee means. I have known what missing food means. I have known what missing a shelter means. I have known what is violence. I have known what is, carnage. I have known all of those things. And my vision is to make sure that these people who are displaced one day to find a way out, or so to stand up and show the world that though we are marginalized as refugees, but we can do greater in the world, and we can get a better place somewhere where we're going to raise a voice that is going to be heard across the world. And also we can be also an agent of change, but not a victim of generosity. So this is the vision that I carry, and I keep on working on it each and every day in empowerment, in supporting, in everything that I do, and also stand up in this, in this great podium, and also speak about the refugee rights. Why not in the UN Convention? Why not to the state? And also show that there are people, though they are marginalized, but they have something within them. That is my first. Something which is like secondly, it is to show all the displaced people that there's still hope, there's still future. They shouldn't look at themselves as victims, but they should look themselves as a potential people who can bring change where they live. They shouldn't be victim of what they have been through, carnage, violence, all of this because of being refugees, because none choose to be refugee. But they should stand up and build themselves and build change in themselves, and build and bring a change where they are, until when they leave the place, they leave change rather than leaving tears there to that land. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I'm just going in order of the screen here. So Maya, how about you?
Yes, please. Well, thank you, Glory, for your word now. Incredibly powerful and incredibly deeply rooted to the word that's coming to me about future, or bringing to the future, is regard. Regard for each other, regard for our stories, regard for the land we're living, and for its past, its future. But I woke up today with this poem in my head from, I believe it's Larian. I'm not sure the name of whose words it is, but that felt very, very alive today, but also for the future for me. And goes like, may I be open, aware, and loving in this moment. If I can't be open, aware, and loving in this moment, may I be kind. If I can't be kind, may I cause no harm. If I can't cause no harm, oh no, I messed it up. No. If I can't be kind, may I be not judgmental. If I can't be non-judgmental, may I cause no harm. If I can't cause no harm, may I cause the least harm possible. Yeah, that feels alive for me for the future and for the moment.
Do you have a vision?
No, that's the vision for the day. I'll pass it on to Josh.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm gonna just espouse some gratitude as well for Glory's reflective comments and just beautiful sentiment outwards into the world. So big love there, brother. Much appreciate what you're sharing and your generous energies. In terms of the future, I guess this is a very abstract topic, so I'm going to go very abstract, but I'm going to call upon the value of harmony or free energy above unity. And so I'd like to see lots more of that in the world, as I believe a thriving social system will have lots of free energy. I also believe that a thriving environmental system will have a lot of free energy, birds per minute, etc. And so I am hopeful and envisioning, I trust, and I'm not hopeful, I trust that the future will be thriving with free energy above unity in a harmonious fashion. And that's my vision for the future. I can get more granular, but I think keep it meta for now. Shall I call on someone, Chris? Yes. Okay, who do we have? Well, clearly Miracle needs to be called on after wishing for a future like that. Would you care to take the stick, Miracle?
All right, I am calling from Superior, Arizona. And my hope for the future on a more personal level, my family never really had stability while I was growing up. That would be something I would love to be able to give them, a world where there is no worry of having nowhere to stay, nothing to eat. I'd really like to give them stability on a more worldwide scale. I would just like to be a part of the participation in trying to make a positive change. It would be nice to win a Nobel Peace Prize. I really just want to be a part of everyone's projects, and sometimes I bite off a little bit more than I could chew. But I really do hope that I have to agree with everyone's hope for the future, because it's all of our ideas that are going to come together to make a really big change. So thank you. Oh, I'm going to pass it on to, let's see, who hasn't gone? Raise your hand if you haven't gone. All right.
Kim.
Yeah, with Chanel.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, sweet. So I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona. For a few weeks, I'll be moving somewhere else. We'll find that out soon. But I think my vision for the future to say is, I think I agree to a lot of the people who have shared about their experiences, like giving people empowering people and to voice against what's wrong, giving them the form of stability in life. And I think I do relate to that quite a lot, because after coming to US, I'm originally from India. So then I saw the different life that I saw in India and I saw it here. And I was one of the very fortunate people to make that 10,000-mile flight to come to US. So there are a lot of people I've seen and met, which I knew are much more knowledgeable than me, much more deserving than me. But I got the opportunity to come here. So my vision has always been that how do I use that education experience to make other people at the same level? Because I see there is a lot of disparities, which I personally, when I was in India, I didn't realize, but coming to US now, I see a lot of those. And I can just give like an example, like if earlier I used to see a person steal, I would be instantly judging that person that you are breaking the law, this is not right, you are not civilized. But then now I look at it like, if I am hungry for a few days and I've done that, and then I saw how my reaction was, and then I would agree that yes, if the person is doing that, there must be some reason. So just kind of I made terms to that, and my vision for the future is basically that I want to provide that space where everybody is on the same level. It's a very difficult thing to achieve, but I think I want to start putting efforts into that, and environment again is a very important factor in that. So that's my little bit of vision.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Kim, how about you? You can type it in and I could read it, or you can pop off mute or pass.
I am driving. I apologize, I'm not able to put my camera on. It's a doctor's appointment. I really enjoyed hearing everyone's visions and dreams. I think it's really powerful. For me, I'm trying to be exciting. I am seeing a future filled of color and abundance and joy and singing and dancing, and actually kind of calling on metaphors that are already around us. Thinking even about dreams themselves. I was actually doing some reflection this morning, but dreams in terms of streams of our own consciousness, and streams, like rivers, and how water flows, and how water takes on different pathways and opportunities, and it's really kind of a vessel of life, really, for the planet. And also, elements like wind, right? And like something that we may not see it, but that doesn't mean the forces aren't real. So for me, I'm really painting a picture in my mind about possibilities, but people actually bring things to words with possibilities because we collectively believe it's actually possible, not only in our dreams at night, but also in our dreams and reality. And I think that if we're capable of dreaming, we're capable of doing. So I see that, and I also see a lot of music, a lot of dancing, a lot of color.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I'll jump off from where you left off, which is that I really see like a lot of partying going on, like a lot of fun, and that somehow like this partying and fun is done in a good way, and there's like these like ripple effects of like developmental goodness coming from all these parties that are going on, and that the land is being healed, that people are being healed, and maybe like there's like the central fire where the party's happening, and then like as you get a little further out, there's like maybe some interesting conversations that are happening, and you get further out and there's like people doing some work that needs to be done, and there being this interconnection of all these parties happening in places, and that no party is really the same because no place is the same, and that the people there are, by expressing their joy and their love and their care, is like waking the place up and themselves up at the same time as the place is becoming more vital and and more healthy, you know. So yeah, there's so many similarities in what we shared and a lot of resonance that I was hearing. And it's a good time to get into some generative dialogue. And what I mean by that in this case is less about passing from one to another and more about chiming in as you feel something moving in you to share. So it's interesting to see, okay, we heard everyone share their visions. What kind of patterns are we seeing? What did hearing other people share spark in you? Let's see, now that we've all added this into the circle, where it goes. So now is not the orderly pass, but what's alive, and let's stir the pot.
This is Jillian. I'll just say briefly that one thread that I experienced was more ease and groundedness with people sharing the personal. And I think that as environmentalists from the era where the environment was something out there, still within the paradigm where people, never mind ourselves, were really considered, I think we're starting to mature into the yes and of what's out there, but also very much what's in here, and that being valid and an essential part of the landscape. Like there being enoughness in healthy ways for ourselves, and even while we're in very much a local, bioregional, continental, national, global landscape of imbalance. It's again, the yes and of how do we learn to care for ourselves while we feel this calling, which is another theme that I heard, this calling. And I think one of the ways that I teach and understand permaculture, I'm actually writing an article about this right now for the Permaculture Design magazine. So it's probably, and I've only just started writing it, and it's due in another week or so. It's always it's like giving birth to a baby. I found myself saying in a permaculture design course at the Bullock Brothers out on Orcas Islands back in, I think it was 2000. Just saying, permaculture is an exposure to a framework, a regenerative framework. And it's really up to all of us to meet that and to learn from it, and ultimately to contribute to it, as that permaculture is what each and every one of us as divine instruments of the cosmos, what can come through us. But it's also not an individual practice, it's a collective practice and a dance, and that we're going to keep expanding our understanding and deepening our understanding of what permaculture is, can be, and what it means to be. And we've seen now, going from earth care to lifting up the other two ethics of people care and fair share. And we've got a long way to go. But I think the point is that, to tie it back to the calling, the divine instrument of each of us, but again, not on our own, but with each other. And how do we co-create environments to support that coming into being for ourselves and each other?
I guess I'm resonating a lot with that too, Gillian. It's like what speaks through us and when, how, why, etc. And so of the recent weeks, I felt moved by forces unbeknown to me, but also a sense of deep presence with the environment in my local context. And so like it's been conference chaos over the last week or so, but just remaining present with what's happening. Oh, so this is why that's emerging. There's like a purpose in everything in some way. how that speaks through us in particular moments, or shines through, we might say, has become very real for me. And like, I have no idea where I'm going, but at the same time, I have faith with what's happening, and just an ability to let something happen. And so I've been kind of thinking about the do something, do nothing, or let something happen triangle. And wherever possible, it's a sense of letting something happen, with moments of intervention there where doing something is necessary. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of resonating with like what's carrying us, which I heard implicit in what you were saying. To other degrees, I think it's kind of implicit in what everybody else is saying also, in that we're all, I don't know, climbing the holy mountain or whatever we want to call it, but vectoring towards a summit of some point where we're all in unison or harmony, and we're kind of crossing a threshold, let's say. Yeah, I guess what's coming up for me is a sense of making plans, really. I'm kind of sensing that in my immediate atmosphere, but I obviously don't want to take us there since we're visioning at the minute.
I have to say something about communities like this is it brings a lot of people who have been thinking about generations to come. And that's something I don't see day to day. Most people I interact with, I mean, they are focused on like what's today, what's next week. And I think it's also a privilege to be able to think about like long further down. Not many people have, but yeah, but it's great to see that there are so many others who are also concerned and hopeful at the same time about generations to come.
Tejas, I never considered the notion of it being a privilege for us to think that far ahead, and it's really resonating with me that it is in a way. Yeah.
You could say it's a privilege in some immediate and deeply contextual senses, but also in a meta or super meta level context. You know the meme of 7 generations, and I think it's beyond that. Like in traditional native time, that's like less than 20 years per generation. It's not a long time. I think this next 7 generations that we're looking at now, even if it was still in traditional native reproduction time, a lot's going to happen, but we need to be thinking about well beyond that. And I think that also helps us to understand, what are we still going to be doing? Like what is going to be possible to us in these various time frames? And one thing I want to lift up is that just a few years ago was the 100-year anniversary of the First World War. And another touchstone that we're going into right now is Remembrance Day. And it's, the 11th month, 11th minute of the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, and November 11th. And it's much stronger here in Canada than it is in the United States. And we wear poppies. I've got mine with me. And it was just a brutally stupid war. They essentially sacrificed millions of lives for lines that barely moved from the beginning of the war. And I think we're even looking at the potential of civil war. in the United States, and the Civil War in the United States wasn't that long ago. It's fighting the North and the South and questions of slavery and things like that. And I think we need to kind of get more with the fact that these things were not so very long ago, and there's still all kinds of capacity for that to happen. We need to be realistic about the human experience. We've had a very false construct of a lot of access to getting our needs met, especially with the advent of fossil fuel and other electronics, and those systems are very brittle. And you know, we're just even looking at that with the reduction of liquid gas that's available over the winter in Europe. So these things are very real. We live, a lot of us, a life that feels very distant from that, but there's a fragility because our systems are brittle, and I think we need to keep in mind.
Yeah, about fragility, I think 2020, COVID and everything else has really shown like how fragile like the system that we have built is. So yeah, I mean that has been an eye-opening year for multiple reasons. Yeah, including what is going on in politics last few years. Like I never imagined something like that could happen here. Yeah, I think it's truly fragile.
Just trying to break the silence here. Does anyone do breath work?
Yes.
Thanks, Tejas. Yeah, thank you for coming. That was really nice to see you. We'll keep talking. Miracle, when you asked that question about breath work, during the silence, I just like had the remembering of like, oh yes, my breath, and I was just like tracking the in and out breaths, and then also throughout the song that you played. So keep going with your question.
Oh, well, I was just asking if no one hasn't, I can drop a link if anyone wanted to try it out, because I think it's really important. And I think it's when you don't know the answer to some questions, or when I feel like we're hitting a lot of really tough topics and really serious ones, and sometimes it all the emotions and ideas and thoughts can get all jumbled up, and I think breath work is a good way to just meditate and cleanse and make your thoughts clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please send the link, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yeah.
Can you forward that link to me on Signal, because I'm not going to be able to catch it.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to have to jump off in 10 minutes or less.
Sure. Yeah. This might be a good time. Gloria, I know that you have your permaculture class coming up here sometime this month, right? So it'd be nice to know how far away you are from your financial goal to put this class on. And if you want to share a little bit about what you're actually doing, it'd be nice for more people to hear about it. If you can do it in a few minutes, if you're up for it.
Yes, thank you very much, Chris, for the opportunity. Yeah, actually, as I've shared previously, there I'm from a refugee community whereby we are trying to make sure that we sustain this community with people who fled from different countries and different areas. We have seven countries who people from different countries who fled in this refugee community called Naki Valley Refugee Settlement. And from here, we are looking at different chaos, different social problems that are in this refugee community, including, lack of education, all of these basic human rights in the refugee community. These things doesn't really exist. So we came up by looking, how are we going really to sustain this refugee community, including to sustain food in these refugees. And we looked at the very basic way to do this is to introduce the permaculture design course in the refugee community so that they can be able to promote themselves or to cultivate their own food and get green to eat so that they can stop, craving this hunger. So we are having a community training, a boot camp training of permaculture design course that we are starting in this November, but we were supposed to start it yesterday, but we didn't start it because yesterday was 7, today is 8. If you look at our website, it's say that we have to start it on 7, but we didn't start it because of course, financial problems of establishing it. And we are trying to make sure that we train 100 people. And these 100 people, they are vulnerable women that we train so that they can be able to sustain their families with food. These are the people that are taking care of orphans that they just, picked along their way when they were fleeing, when they are running from the war. They could find a child on the way and just carry him or her and start living with the child, whom they don't know where is the father, the mother, and that child become automatically their father and their mother. And you understand all the struggles behind on raising those children. So we made sure that we're going to train this community so that they can be able to be providing food for these children, because we are having food insecurity in refugees. And after how are we trying this? We are training them, after training them with the skills of permaculture principle course. As Gillian was sharing, I was very moved to start hearing that conversation about permaculture. Absolutely, yes, that is the only way we can connect with earth, we can connect with nature and connect with people with the permaculture principles and designs. And after that, we support them with tools, including, a spade, hoe, panga, watering can, to start just a small garden behind their home so that they can be able to be providing to these children, but also for themselves. And that's how we are starting this course. And we are really excited to see how many people we are going to impact. Our target is 100, but we haven't yet really established it as we were supposed to do that. We took people through the interviews, but they are like, okay, we should start. We're like, first, hold on. The reason we are holding it on, it may be rescheduling for the next 2 weeks, is just because of we were looking at a certain amount of financial goal, which we didn't reach in our fundraising and in our donations. And we were like, okay, what are we going to do? And we're like, let's extend to 2 more weeks to see if we can get actually something to start with. And that's how we are still stuck. If you can look at our website right here, give me 1 second. One here. I want to put it in the chat. That's one. You can get all the information about the people, how many people we really want to impact, you know, the way we are doing these donations. And we are really looking forward to, but this is the only way we can help these refugees. This is a way that we are the community leaders, youth who really want to change in our community, in our fellow refugees, to go through, to empower them, so that instead of coming, giving them donation of food every day, better we teach them how to make this food so that they can be able to be doing this. And we are really looking forward to, we have extended it, dear Chris, for 2 more weeks. We had a meeting together with the member of the Plethora Social Initiative, and our financial code was very low. We couldn't really make it. And we're like, okay, let's extend for 2 more weeks to see if we can collect at least something from these people who are really moved to stand with refugees, to help refugees, and to see how best we can be able to go through with this training. And I want to also call upon everyone who feel moved in this to also support us to see how better we can really make this training happen in this community. It will be very appreciative to see your hand of compassion. Yeah, thank you very much, please.
Yeah, Glory, how much do you need to put on the course? I mean, how much is necessary for you at this point, additional, to get the course going in 2 weeks?
Yeah, actually, we actually, so that we can get it to this week's, we might start. We needed 100. I mean 1,000. Actually 1,000. We can start with that 1,000. We had some few, and a lot of things came in with other programs that we had, and until now we are really unstable. But if we get 1,000, we can really start with, and other things will come after. We might not even give them tools, but we actually train them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And so you'll see in the link from earlier was, hey, we'll see ya. Bye, Josh. Bye, Maya. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Safe travels, huh?
Get on the train. Ciao. Good luck, Laura.
Ciao, ciao. That the link
Good.
is a short, under 7-minute video of Glory explaining what the program's about. If you want some more information, there's a YouTube link. I'll send it again just so it's right there. And then you saw the link to the Plethora initiative that was also sent. So if it's on your heart to support, please do. And if you know some people who this might resonate with, that might be willing to support, then please share it with them, because we want our friends over there in Uganda, especially with the work that Glory's doing, to be supported. So yeah, nudge, nudge. It's where the rubber hits the road, baby.
Yeah. Can you please send that to me in Signal? And I'm just about to go into an appointment, but my email address, if you want to email me, is Jillian with a J. You can see it spelled out on the screen, JILLIAN @net. And I use I mostly use Telegram, but I'm on Signal and WhatsApp as well. So I don't have much money, but I think what I have to offer otherwise is probably more valuable.
Indeed.
Thank you very much, Jillian. Yeah, thank you very much. Really, we really appreciate that.
Jillian is an elder in the field of permaculture, and I'll put her website here so you can see, Glory, a bit about her and her work. And so
I have a lot of connections in Africa. I've spent a fair amount of time in West Africa because I speak French.
Yeah, I will go through, and I will soon really contact you.
All right.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think it's looks like it's about time to close up shop here. We'll put the campfire out for now, and then we'll do another one around the time of the full moon again. So that's a good way to get a sense for when the next one will come. And We'll put out various communication channels when we got the specific time, link, and so on. But that's a general way that we can stay connected is by looking up at the sky and seeing the moon. And thanks, Jillian, for the demonstration of using lunar cycles in a meaningful way with groups.
Yeah.
You've been an outstanding example of taking that stimulation and bringing it to life. And I mean, as Roberto, our colleague in Italy, likes to say, it's the progress bar in the sky. It's something that it's a pattern language that we all live in, and it's a great way to unify and to find that rhythm. So thanks for bringing this in alignment at that point. And I think it's good to also remember that it can be easy to focus on the full moon because it's the big and up and strong energy. And as we continue to mature and evolve, I think there'll be spaces to gather in other phases of the moon as well.
I'm a new moon junkie myself. This is really nice. Yeah, thank you all. Blessings to you and to all of our friends who joined us today. It's nice to see all your faces, and I'm looking forward to the next time we get together. And I'm sure we'll all be talking before then. So bendiciones and gracias.
Language. Go well with good hearts.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was very nice to meet all of us here. It's a very big pleasure, really.
Feels good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.